To lead an army, you will often need to have a strong leader. But strength alone isn't everything. Vandergrift, while he was strong, was not the type you want to lead your army, as he has often been compared to a monster in human skin. Vandergrift was a Kaedweni general, who was known for his brutality. He was a large man who was easy to anger, and no one was as good in making him furious as Seltkirk of Gwent. Seltkirk and Vandergrift had a kind of rival-like relationship, which started at some point before the Second Northern War. It all started when they first had crossed blades in a tourney which was being held in Aedirn, the capital of Kaedweni. During this fight, Seltkirk of Gwent managed to break Vandergrift's sword, which in turn forced the general to forfeit. But Vandergrift wasn't someone who liked to be humiliated and defeated. He went to the smith that forged his sword and hanged him for making a faulty weapon. The general wasn't yet done with Seltkirk, and he went to acquire a new sword, stronger and more powerful, one made by a sorcerer. This sword was named Loathn, which is Elder speech for hatred, and it allowed Vandergrift to strike even harder when fueled by this emotion. It would take some time before Vandergrift would face Seltkirk once again, but their rivalry was well known, and in a way mirrored the relationship of their respective kingdoms. In the north of Aedirn lies a region known as Upper Aedirn, but to Kaedweni this region is called the Lormark, and they feel like Aedirn has stolen that land from them 300 years ago. To Aedirn, of course, this was their land. They had owned it for 300 years and had no interest in giving it up. Tensions between the two kingdoms were always high when it came to the specific piece of land. During the Second Northern War, when Aedirn was devastated by Nilfgaard's invasion, Kaedweni took this opportunity to invade their kingdom and annex the Lormark. The act was looked down upon as disgraceful, and when the war ended, Kaedweni was forced by the other kingdoms to return the land to Aedirn. But they had come so close to reclaiming the land they lost centuries ago, and Kaedweni's king Henselt was focused on taking it back, claiming it was his birthright. And so, about half a year after the Second Northern War had ended, Kaedweni marched an army to Aedirn, led by Vandergrift, with the sole purpose to take back the Lormark at any cost. While Aedirn was still not back at their full strength, they did have hope and good intel. They knew Kaedweni was coming, and an army led by Seltkirk came to meet them. The presence of the noble Seltkirk lifted the spirits of the humans and non-human soldiers of Aedirn, even when they saw the notorious Dun banner and the veterans of Brenna standing across them on the field. On the third day after the autumn equinox, Vandergrift led 4,000 soldiers across the Pontar to invade Upper Aedirn to face their 5,000 soldiers. As they crossed the river and set foot on Aedirnian land, Vandergrift went to the nearest hill and looked over the area as if it was his already. As he looked towards the Aedirnian army, he saw all the dwarves drop their pants to show him their asses. Seltkirk soon also emerged from the Aedirnian ranks to show his face to the invading army. The Kaedweni stood frozen at the sight of Seltkirk in his shiny armor. After a very slight bow, Seltkirk returned back into the ranks of the army as the battle was about to begin. In the afternoon it all started, as Vandergrift ordered the Dun banner to charge the Aedirnians. The mere sight of the Dun banner scared them, as they heard stories of their performance at the Battle of Brenna. The war would have been over quickly if the Dun banner would have been able to charge the Aedirnians without any obstacles. But the Aedirnians weren't that stupid, as in the cover of night before, they dug fire pits to ambush the famed Kaedweni cavalry. This ambush allowed the Aedirnians to decimate the Dun banner. The cavalry that had once helped save the north from Nilfgaard's invasion was now trapped with no option for survival. They requested reinforcements as a last-ditch effort to survive, but Vandergrift refused. He was angry at the scouts for failing to have seen the fire pits that were dug during the night, and he ordered every scout to receive 10 lashes, as well as to hang every third one, to punish their failure. He also showed anger towards the Kaedweni sorceress, Sabrina Glevesic, who during the night had scanned the battlefield with her magic, and had also failed to detect the pits. He told her that he would inform King Hansel of her incompetence after the battle. Vandergrift took a sword and shield in hand, and headed towards the battle himself. He had only one goal: to kill his rival Seltkirk. It was Seltkirk who managed to inspire the Aedirnians to resist. His leadership and presence gave them hope, and all that Vandergrift wanted to do was get vengeance and crush their hope. He confronted him in the middle of the battlefield, as he was out for blood. The fight that ensued was said to have been one of a kind, one so memorable that those who witnessed the fight from a distance would never be able to forget it. Their swords clashed against each other, until Vandergrift, fueled by his hate, sliced Seltkirk from his head to his groin. With the gruesome death of the leader, the Aedirnians panicked. They had lost all hope. It was right then, when all seemed lost, that fire rained from the sky. The soldiers on both sides fled for their lives, as Vandergrift realized what was happening. Sabrina was ordered by the Lord Sorceresses in secrecy to prevent Kaedwen from taking over Upper Aedirn, to not disturb the balance of power. And with all hope at an Aedirnian victory gone, she saw no other option than to summon Melgar's fire. Her spell decimated both armies, killing 3,000 soldiers. Among those who died was Vandergrift, but he wasn't truly dead yet. The battlefield would be cursed, resulting in the spirits that had died there to fight on endlessly as specters. In the eternal battle, Vandergrift took on the form of a Draug, a giant fiery archwraith. As a Draug, he would fight in battlefields each day for 3 years, in a battle of specters. All the events of the battle repeated themselves over and over. That was until Geralt of Rivia lifted the curse, when he took Seltkirk's place in the fight against Vandergrift, and finally defeated the general. When the curse was lifted, Vandergrift was finally fully deceased, but his name would still bring terror in the hearts of soldiers and peasants alike. He was a gruesome man, who was quick to anger and execute his own soldiers. While alive, he had earned the nickname The Visitor, also due to some of his gruesome deeds. After conquering city, Vandergrift would go into the homes of the people. He would tell them they had nothing to fear from him, right before he cut their throats. Vandergrift was a man filled with hatred, hatred which would flow through a sword, which in the end ended up in the hands of Saskia. She was able to deal with the anger from the enchanted sword, an anger that didn't corrupt her. Vandergrift was possibly one of the worst human beings in The Witcher. But what do you think of him? Also, at the time of writing, the channel is at 999 subscribers and about to hit 1000. Thank you all very much for subscribing. If you have any suggestions what I should do for this milestone, please let me know. Till the next video. Bye.